Ever felt like someone was watching you, even though you in the very ground beneath your feet? The Stanford murders. I'd heard about the murders at Stanford, everyone had, but there's one story that haunted me more than the rest, the one about Arliss Perry. It was the fall of 1974, and Arliss, just 19, was found dead inside the Stanford Memorial Church. I wasn't there, of course. I didn't even know her. But years later, I visited the campus and went to that very church. I wanted to see if I could feel something, some kind of connection to the tragedy. The church was empty when I entered, quiet, too quiet. The kind of silence that presses in on your ears, makes your heart beat louder. I walked down the aisle toward the altar, where they found her body. They said she had been posed in some sort of ritualistic manner. There were candles around her, symbols carved into the ground. As I stood there, a chill ran down my spine. The air grew thick, like the walls were closing in. And then I heard it, a faint whisper, just one word: run. I froze. It was like the voice came from everywhere and nowhere all at once. My legs wouldn't move. My breath caught in my throat, and then the sound of footsteps, slow, deliberate, coming from behind me. I turned, but there was no one there. I don't remember leaving the church, but when I got outside, I felt lighter. Like something had been pushing down on me in there, something I couldn't see. I have read since that the case was solved, that a former security guard was responsible. But that doesn't explain the whispers. It doesn't explain the cold, suffocating dread that fills that church. Something evil happened there, and maybe it never really left. The Phantom of the University of Montevallo. The University of Montevallo in Alabama is old, like really old. It's got that classic Southern Gothic vibe that makes you feel like you're stepping back in time, but it's not just history that haunts the place. No, it's something much darker. I'd heard about King House, the place where a Confederate soldier named Captain Henry King was killed during the Civil War. They say his ghost still walks the halls. Honestly, I didn't believe any of it until I experienced it for myself. It was a late night study session. The library had closed, so a few of us headed to King House. It's open to students after all, but mostly it's empty at night. We set up in one of the downstairs rooms and everything was fine at first. Around midnight, the lights started flickering. We joked about it, said it was probably just the old wiring, but then the doors started slamming. Not one, not two, all of them. Over and over, like someone was running through the house, angry, desperate. One of my friends laughed nervously and said, "Maybe it's Captain King." The second she said his name, the temperature dropped. I mean, it felt like we had stepped into a freezer, and then we heard a knock at the window. We were on the second floor. There was no way someone could have been out there, but when we looked, we saw him, a figure in a Confederate uniform, standing just beyond the glass, staring at us with hollow eyes. I've never moved so fast in my life. We bolted from that house, and as we ran down the stairs, I swear I felt a hand brush my shoulder. When I looked back, no one was there, but the doors were still slamming behind us. I haven't been back to King House since that night, and I don't plan to. Whatever's in there, whatever's haunting those halls, it's not friendly, and it's not resting in peace. These are just a few of the stories that keep me up at night. The kind of stories that make you question the line between reality and nightmare. Maybe you'll forget about them when the video ends. Maybe not. But the next time you hear a strange noise in the night or feel eyes on you and no one's around, just remember, you never know what might be watching.